Yo, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time you guys are watching this, man. This is Marquis Walker and
AKA Big Sexy Juan Rodriguez, baby.
yeah, baby. And we're here to talk about, this is the Passive Podcast, episode 56. Oh, damn, I got so many things to come about family values, but I'm gonna edit that. I got her because I was talking about the Her album. It's like her family values, that's what it says. But we're gonna talk about family values. But first, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about some fact checking news. Chuck is late as usual, our co-host, so he'll join us when he wants to join us, I guess. See what I tell you? Whenever he wants to join us, here we go.
What up, Chuck?
What's going on, man?
What up, Chuck?
What's not going on?
Yo, so I was just talking about the intro real quick. So what up, Chuck? We just want to say hi, Chuck, and everything real quick.
Hello. How you doing?
Already, Beth is here, but she's about to get in a chair. I'll zoom her in and give her an introduction. What up, Beth?
What up?
What's up, Beth?
What's going on?
What's going on?
What's up, Samuel?
Sam's here in the building. So I just wanted to discuss what family values is real quick. Just give a brief definition, and then we will discuss more of it. We do have another guest, surprise guest, Shantae. I'm gonna let her join while I explain the what we're gonna talk about. What's going on? How you doing? Hello.
I'm good. How you doing?
Glad you can join us. If you guys don't know, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Shantae, and I'm Tashawn's wife, and so Tashawn watches this show faithfully, and sometimes I sit on the couch and watch it with him as he's commenting. And I've seen you all a lot, and he asked me what I'd like to be on the show, so I was sure.
Well, welcome.
We always looking for more female perspectives. Beth is like a go-to female perspective for everything. I know we tie her out. She probably like, get somebody else, going crazy and stuff like that. So yeah, we welcome you to the show. First, I just wanted to say hi to everybody and everybody cool. Everybody all right? We're gonna talk about a couple things prior to the show, like I usually do. We talk about some fact checker news. So join in if you can. The first thing I wanted to talk about something fun. I don't know if you guys watched it, but the Stephanie Mills and Shaka Khan battle. Anybody see it?
I didn't see it.
Nobody watched it?
Watch what?
The Stephanie Mills and Shaka Khan battle, the versus battle.
It's on right
Beth, you're breaking up.
now. It's good. They both a hot mess.
Well, did you see it? Did you hear about it or what? Beth, is that you talking? She's something's going on with sound. Hello, Beth. Were you just talking? Well, something going on. Okay, all right, something going on. All right, so basically, let me just. I saw the battle, and of course, it was a older generation. This is what I grew up on. What my mother grew up on. What most of our parents grew up on. This music and icons. They're icons. Stephanie Mills and Shaka Khan. But what happened was it was an hour late, and Shaka Khan was a little bit tipsy. Let's put it that way. And, let me get Beth off until she gets something corrected. She was a little tipsy, and it didn't go as well as expected for her. But Stephanie Mills did show and approve. She was drinking water. She did a rehearsal, actually, and she actually did sing her butt off, and she kind of saved the show. So shout out to Stephanie Mills. And so no one else talking about it. We can move on to the next one.
No, what they were saying about that, they should have had at least a live band or somebody on the side that just in case they had technical difficulties. I mean, a band that can actually play 70s music. Mm-hmm. That's what I've seen. A lot of people were saying. I didn't watch it, but that's what that's the feedback that I seen on YouTube. Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea. I don't know if the other older cats had it. Like who was it that came on before?
Isley Brothers.
Did they have a band? Or they had a DJ too? I think, right?
I think it was
They were singing live though.
D Nice was the DJ.
Yeah, D Nice was the DJ. Okay. Yeah. But that went better. It just didn't have a lot of technical difficulties. It did go better. But the band is a good idea, Chuck. Maybe they'll do that next time.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on. We had another MC rapper, whatever you want to call him, young Dolph. He passed away. He got shot up like a couple of days ago. I don't know if anybody heard about that. Anybody got any insight on that, or just want to say R.I.P. and let's move on?
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it, and I heard they got 2 suspects arrested that they feel that was involved in it. So that's all up to date. But my condolences go out to his family.
Yeah,
I'm just sick of this stuff. Why did they even shoot him?
We don't know. Yeah, they did catch the 3 suspects. They were sloppy with it and they got caught. And hopefully justice. We get justice. I know we're gonna get justice for that, but we're not gonna get justice for the 3rd subject, which is Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. Anybody want to say anything about the verdict?
I ain't surprised, but I heard it was one black person. He ain't invited to the barbecue.
You mean on the panel, on the
jury?
Jury, yeah.
But what I found out, they excluded a lot of evidence in the case. The judge threw a lot of evidence out. So they couldn't watch videos. He had said that he wanted to shoot people before. The judge wouldn't even allow that in nothing.
So there wasn't a lot of information that was provided or could be solid. So you're saying, is that why you think? What was it? What was it that really? You think the judge? It was the judge. What was it? Was it just the system itself? Anybody? You want to speak? She say something.
I'll speak on it because I actually was keeping up with the trial, and to me, he had a hell of a lawyer. The prosecution didn't have their A game on, and his lawyer was on point and destroyed everything that his prosecution was throwing out.
Nah, it was the judge.
I just don't understand how a gentleman can shoot people with thousands of witnesses. Like, how many people have gone to prison just because someone said they saw them do something? How many black people? A gentleman. And that's just really bugging me right now. He did that in front of a lot of people. I just don't get how it could even have been possible for him to be acquitted. Like, not downgraded to manslaughter, not downgraded to other charges because maybe he didn't premeditate it, even though he clearly did. It
was premeditated.
Oh, I know it was premeditated. What I'm saying is I'm surprised that he's being fully acquitted.
Yeah,
that's what's really surprising.
Yeah, like all 5 charges, I believe, right?
Like a free man, like he's free as you man.
He's like it's like a clean slate. Nothing happened. It never happened.
On top of that, I mean, there's a couple of I think senators or something in DC that are offering him internships. So he's getting job, he basically getting job offers for this stuff, and it's crazy.
Yeah, well, you got to think about this is not new in our judicial system,
No, it's not.
There are a group of folks who are very proud of what he did, so they will support him and keep him employed and make sure that a person such as himself who shares the same ideals as them, remain strong.
True. Beth, there's a mute button when you chew. Did she hear me? I don't know if she heard me. She's still crunching. All right.
I didn't eat.
Okay.
I had breakfast and then I just got playing. I got my butt kicked on a tennis court. I'm starving. Okay.
I'm
gonna mute myself. Okay, I'm gonna mute.
All right, let's get into the show, man. Family Values, man, episode 56, Passive Podcast, then and now, man. Juan, you came up with this topic. Give us some feedback on what made you come up with it.
Well, I was meditating, and it just
meditate. What?
Yeah, I was meditating, and I was
air freshener.
Oh Lord, come on.
No, didn't need it.
I'll mess with you. I'm messing with you, dude.
So, and it was just, and I was just there thinking about us growing up and me watching documentaries, reading how families were back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to a current date, and how family values just somewhere along the line the lines got blurred, started values weren't in place no more like they was back then. So I said that would be a great topic to see how many people in today's society even notice or even have like those same values that they had back then.
True. Chuck, you agree with this topic? You want to bounce off that?
I mean, the one thing for me, I can say that there's no grandmothers. There's no real grandmothers, tell you the truth. I mean, like when I was growing up, the grandmothers were 60, 70, 80 years old. Now you got 30-year-old grandmothers.
That's a good point.
That, some of them are still in the clubs with their kids and their grandkids.
True.
Well, not their grandkids, but with their kids. And I'm just saying, no, but I'm just saying they don't have the same structure basically, where Big Mama would come in there and put all type of slippers in your behind.
There you go.
Let's talk parents.
About what family values means by the definition, right? Sometimes referred to as familia values are traditional or cultural values that pertain to the family structure, function, roles, beliefs, attitudes, and deals. What do you guys think about that? Is that current? Does that still resonate with anybody down there?
Yeah. It does. Mm-hmm. But what I have to say about family values, I would say it's just a crock because all the same stuff is going down. It's just going down on a different day. It used to be if a girl in the family got pregnant and she wasn't married, a lot of times you think that that's your sibling and it's really Big Mama's that's Big Mama's baby. No, that's her grandbaby. So everything used to be hush hush. People just knew how to keep their business to themselves. You'd be like, oh, you and your best friend, y'all look just alike, like y'all are related. Turns out y'all got the same damn daddy. Like your best friend was creeping with your husband. People just knew how to keep their mouth shut. That's all I have to say. That's what I'm seeing. And this is what I find out. And I'm talking about this is on a personal level. You find out a lot of things. My dad was born in the 30s. And he didn't find stuff out till people died. Or now Ancestry DNA is revealing these secrets that, mama stepped out, daddy stepped out. So I think people just knew how to keep their mouth shut better. And they didn't have DNA tests back then and things like that. I think that's really the only thing that changed. And maybe the war against drugs was a war against Black, brown, and poor people. That's another thing that changed. And like I said, instead of it being Big Mama, it's Sexy Mama, Sexy Grandma. I mean, my aunt is in her 70s and she's in better shape than me. She got those Angela Bassett arms. She's looking like a snack. My own aunt, she does not look like she's 70, and she has grandkids in college. They think they're her kids and those are her grandchildren. So, I mean, that's my opinion. And that's me looking from the outside in, talking with older folks. That's what they say. People just knew how to shut their mouths. You wouldn't know that daddy had another family until the funeral.
I mean, I agree with you to an extent, right? Every family, white, Black, rich, poor, has secrets. And the richer the family, the more secrets they have to hide because the more at risk they are. And so I definitely agree that there's some family secrets. But I think one of the things that's different about today that was prevalent, at least in my life yesterday, was community. Community was a big deal, and community members were a part of my family. And so my neighbor could whoop my ass, and I'll never forget the day that she told me she was going to whoop my ass. And I went to my mother and was like, Pat says she's going to whoop my ass. And she was like, well, what did you do? And I was like, well, what do you mean? What did I do? She's threatening to hit me. She's like, well, you better stop what you were doing in order for her to threaten you. Because if you do it again, she's going to whoop your ass. And then I'm going to whoop your ass because you didn't listen. Right. And so there was that level of community that I feel blessed that my kids have. So we live in a community of older people. So the average age of our neighbors is they're like retired, basically. Most of our neighbors are retired. And so I'll never forget the day that one of our neighbors, he is now transitioned, he pulled my husband to the side. He's like, I want to let you know, this little boy walking your daughter home. But don't worry, he ain't gone in the house yet because I've been watching. Right. And so, you know, when you have that, right. And so let me just put it on the flip side, because I'm an educator and an emerging school leader, right? Now adults take kids' word over adults' word. And so rather than my husband being like, mind your effing business, you ain't got no business peeping on my daughter, my husband was like, can you let me know when you see little boy go in my house, please? Right. There was an appreciation for the community because there was so many secrets. Beth, the community did have to stick together. The Black community had to be together because we were fighting multiple fights, one against, unfortunate, the oppressor, the white man.
But
then
unfortunately,
we just had to make sure we kept ourselves together. And I'm not saying the secrets are okay. You are talking to the child of a family secret. So I understand family secrets. I understand what it means to bury who you think is your father and have another man approach after you've buried that man. I get it. Trust me. And I'm not saying that
the community knows about your secrets too.
But it is what it is.
But an issue I could say, some of these community people took advantage of the trust. And I'll give you an example.
I got you.
And I'm going to use hypothetical, but this is a familiar story. I just won't put any names. Okay. Someone in my family, neighbor. Oh, your neighbor knows everything. You're a 28-year-old neighbor supposed to be looking out for people in the community, yet you impregnate a 13, 14-year-old girl. You know, stuff like that happen. You over here supposed to be watching out, you know, single parent working all these jobs, trying to support, you know, the family. Daddy is abroad, you know, so sometimes these are the things that happen. And what I noticed, you're talking about, oh, you can't say anything to people's kids. And from what I find, talking with coworkers, like my Puerto Rican coworker, she won't let anybody go near her kids because trusted people in the community that was supposed to be watching out for her got inappropriate with her. And that's why, and that's what I find a lot of times when you see these women, no, nobody can talk to their kids. I think that's one of the reasons why, because the community that was supposed to look out for them ended up damaging them and not looking out for them. And I understand why that happens. Even in some of my circle of friends, they only let certain people pick up their kids or talk to their kids because that's what happened to them when they were younger, and they don't trust the community. And so I understand that and I respect that. They're very careful about who they let around their children and who could correct their children because they don't want what happened to them to happen to their kids.
So, Beth, is that due to Western family values? Is there a difference between Western family values and African family values? Who wants to answer that first?
Well, no, because it happens in the Western world. It happens in the African world where it's supposed to be a village. Like a lot of these older men in West Africa, they'll go after these little 12, 13, because usually in the Caribbean and in West Africa, you start high school at 11 and 12 and you finish by 16. You graduate earlier than in the US. They're over here, oh, I'll pay your school fees. I'll give you money. I'll buy you a cell phone. I'll buy you a house, Cape Verde. I'll buy you a house if you sleep with me. And these are supposed to be elders, and they're usually well-respected people in these communities doing this type of shady stuff. And it's not just your girls you got to watch out for. It's your boys. But because it's a more conservative culture, you have to keep quiet. You don't say anything because you're going to bring shame on the family. They don't want to talk about it. And they don't talk about it.
Want to jump in?
I feel that as generations went on time, so if you look back, like I always wish I was born, even though times were difficult, the 60s, even 70s, like that was my era. I wish, because your family values were totally different. Your parents would tell you carry yourself a certain way, regardless if you have money or not, because you represent the family. Back then, they were always pushing you to be better than they were. You know, education, to stay in school. You know, and if you just look at the photos, it tells you a lot. Even the most poorest individual still came out with a nice, their hair done correctly, their clothes pressed, and carry their heads up high. And somewhere in the 80s, when unfortunately, wherever crack cocaine came from, you know, actually the end of the Vietnam War, where some of these individuals were coming back hooked on heroin and drugs, which led later into the crack cocaine era. Family values just started collapsing there, big time. Where I wish they would have stayed even stronger to be like, hey, stay away from these streets, still carry your head up high. You're going to be somebody. Well, unfortunately, now in today's date, these music videos and these influencers pretty much are raising the kids these days more than their parents.
The tablets.
And
the actual phones and tablets are raising the kids.
Yeah, or, you know, these artists that they see pretending this lifestyle is great because their family who should be showing them these values are not, and they're just like, you know what, just leave them alone. Because unfortunately, some of these family members are having children way before their times, and they probably somewhere along the line weren't raised properly, or they had issues where they're not ready to be parents. That's, you know, my opinion.
I mean,
yeah, I agree with what Juan's saying. Because I mean, I'm a '70s baby, grew up in the '80s and whatnot, and in my neighborhood, I mean, anybody can, you know, anybody adult can whoop you, and they would go back to your parents and tell you. I mean, my next door neighbor, she used to have a belt above her washing machine, and she, you know, hey, she would crack anybody's kid, and the parents wouldn't say anything because, you know, she was elder, you know, I mean, she was already retired, so our parents would be at work or whatnot. Well, school for those, you know, those parents that were in school at the time, and you know, everybody looked out for everybody's child. Yeah, they had you had those guys with the wandering eyes, and it wasn't just the guys. Some of the women were doing the same thing with the young men and even with the young women. So and then, you know, crack hit, and then, you know, some of the stand-up people in the community ended up getting hooked on it and whatnot. And then that's when it just went downhill. Oh no, you ain't gonna talk to my child. Aren't you the same person that, you know, was just, you know, snorting lines or whatever, or doing whatever in the back alley? No, don't talk to my child. You're a drunk, you're a crackhead, and whatever. And then, you know, by the kids seeing that, they started disrespecting that person.
Shantae? And
not having respect for that person at all. No, and not having respect for that person. I mean, but that's not how my mother and father raised me, or my siblings and whatnot. So, you know,
I mean, I have respect for the crackheads.
I think that my mom taught me that even though she might have disagreed with someone, I still had to respect them. Never was I on the same footing with my mother. So my mother had many issues with many of adults, but I still had to say yes, ma'am, no, sir. I believe I was also taught how to use the spirit of discernment. You know, you have to know when you're in certain predicaments, in certain situations. And I just also think my mother she talked to me a lot. And I'm 40, but if my mom was alive, I think she'd be like 78, right? So we were actually 2 generations apart. And so, and I just also want to name other few things why I think like our family values are decreasing. Like I'm not going to go there with social media. I'm just going to throw that out there, but I'm not going to say much about it because that's a big issue in my opinion.
It's huge. It's like another show. Yeah.
It's crazy, right? But like, if we think about the average family size, it's decreasing. People are having less children, and therefore like the community that we had in our own homes is also now decreasing, and therefore our children are more apt to look to the outside world for connection, whether it's through video games or TikTok or the like or friends. You know, we just also, like, my mom was always home. I was very blessed to have a mom that was always home. But we know now, like, both parents are out there really trying to work and make money in order to provide for their children. So, you know, latchkey kids are real, right? They let themselves in. They have access to all kinds of craziness on the internet, and they have that access until their families come home. And in some cases, we started to talk about the iPad and the phone, the PlayStation, the Xbox. They're in-house babysitters, right? If you as a parent are tired and you come home and your child is on the video game for 2 hours and they're not bothering you, play that video game, right? Play that video game so I can get that rest. But the problem is, like, even for our son, he loves to play video games. But one day I was like, who the hell you talking to? Because he was starting to say like, oh, I live in Boston. Oh, blah, like he started giving. I'm like, who are you talking
to? Information? Right? Oh, yeah, online? Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah, but the thing about it, the video games, Fortnite, Call of Duty, and whatever. They get online with these people. You don't know how old these people are online talking to your kids while your kids are playing online. I mean, it got to the point where when I started playing, I have Xbox. I started playing Call of Duty, and it got to the point where I had to put the earphones in just because I got called the N-bomb. I got called N-bomb so much, man, because I was much better than the next person on this, people I'm playing and whatnot. Then it got to the point where they was, swatting people's homes because they were losing games. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I guess
some of these games kids should not be playing.
I agree that they shouldn't be playing. And what I would say to this is your child at this stage of the game is going to, right? They're going to have access because they have it at their fingertips, but are we monitoring them? Right. And so like, how often do you tell your kid, give me your phone and just do a phone check? See what their conversations are like, because they're not smart enough to do. Trust me, right? Like, how do we
their internet usage, where they went?
I mean, I would love for my child to not have a phone, right? Because that's the thing that I feel like. Matter of fact, let me just throw this out there. Did any of you know that prior to Steve Jobs' death, none of his kids owned an Apple device?
What? No, I didn't know that.
No,
None of his kids owned an Apple device because he knew how they would destroy the child's brain. In fact, it's an agreement in Silicon Valley amongst all of the developers that their children are not to get smartphones until they're 14, because that's the beginning age when a child can actually maybe handle the information provided to them on a smartphone. And even then, they have a pact to make sure that they monitor and make sure that their children aren't doing anything they're not supposed to be doing. So here are the makers of these devices. None of their children have the devices that we're giving to our kids at 4 and 5 years old, right? Like they know.
I ain't giving my kids these devices. She was 14.
Listen, I worked in a K-8. I've worked in schools, honey. I've seen the littlest of kids who cannot hold a backpack walk in with the iPhone 10. I'm telling you, people are doing it, and they're not monitoring their children, and their children are being raised by Google. Children no longer come to parents with questions because all they got to do is say, Siri, what's a blah, blah, blah? Siri, how do I blah, 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 right? And Siri don't know that they're 6 years old, so Siri will give them the whole kit and caboodle. And so I'm gonna end on my soapbox. I just really feel like there are a lot of different reasons why the family
maybe they don't know that they can set like parameters for what their kids can do, because I did that with my daughter, and she turned on a smartphone, and I would ask her, where are you at? And then I could track where she was just to see if she was lying to me, and she was telling me the truth. So you can set these limits for your kids' phones. I just think maybe Shantae, maybe they don't know, that they could do that.
Oh no, but the kids, but also I just in response, they can also they can take that off. Just to be clear, a kid can their location. Like, just because you put it on, don't mean they got to keep it off. Apparently, you put the fear of God in your child, so she keeps it on. But it's not a guarantee that because you put it on, it stays on. And kids
they don't. Let me jump in real quick.
And they can turn it on and off when they get home too.
When my daughter was young and at the age of like 14, having a cell phone, they had these phones. They were pretty much like childproof. They were like special.
It's called jitterbugs.
Jitterbug.
It's called jitterbugs, Mark.
So yeah, I remember looking into that company. I got my daughter a jitterbug phone or something like that, and I controlled it. She couldn't do anything to it. You know what I mean? So it was really a beautiful thing. I don't know where that's at. And you know what I mean? Like you said,
they still got those. They still got those types of phones.
But yeah, they're not popular. No one's buying them. They got that, like she's saying, iPhone 9, 20, whatever it is. This is what the kids want, and they cry and beg until they get it. These kids are spoiled.
Yeah, but you know what, too, Shantae?
I didn't get it.
I didn't put the fear of God in my daughter. What I did was, they showed that documentary, Half the Sun, about how girls were getting abducted and sold and trafficked. So I said, just in case anything happened, I said, I just want to make sure you are safe, and if anything happens, you can be located. That's how I always came to my daughter. I want to make sure you're safe. Even when she was 18, I was like, if she comes here, I'm like, let me know what time to expect you home. Just in case you don't make it home at that time, I could call you, see if you're okay. I want to make sure you're safe. That's how I led with, I want to make sure you're safe. It'll give me peace of mind. If I catch you doing this, you're going to do this, and that.
We're going to start with some questions. We're going to start with Juan because I miss Juan's voice. What's the importance of family values?
I think the important to me, my personal opinion, family value is to have the next generation. If you start I use MOK with his march, to give, I'm grateful to have some of the freedoms I have because of them. So the way I look at it, so similar to that, it's like he started something, we should continue it, and I want my children to continue it to improve for the next generation. So if we don't pass down these knowledge, how to carry themselves, present themselves, and not look at all the sacrifice that the people have done prior to them being born, then I feel that's like a good family value that's lost. Prior to them being born.
Chuck, we go around, answer every question.
For me, man, number one, leadership. Be a leader, not a follower. Because not just because I was a military kid, and my pops, he was all about that. My mom's always told me, be a leader, never be a follower, because followers, are the ones that always get in trouble. I tell that to my boys: courage. Have the courage. Speak up for yourself. Defend yourself. If you know something's wrong, say something. Don't sit there and be scared. Because if somebody's picking on you, call daddy. Tell daddy. Daddy's gonna be there. I'm definitely gonna show up, and the teacher's gonna see my face every time. Honesty. Be honest. I mean, come on. I know everybody lies or whatever, but be honest. When somebody asks you an honest question, give them an honest answer. I mean, yeah, it might hurt them, but just be honest about it.
It's all about the way you say it too, Chuck. Yeah.
Shit, hey, man.
I thought you finished. Stop it.
Last one. No. Last one is respect. Last one is respect. Give everybody, give them the same respect they give you. They don't get your respect. Just have respect for folks, man. I mean, some folks are, just plain up assholes, but miserable. So, just try to be respectful and mindful of, what's going on.
Shantae, same question.
Sorry, tell me the question again. I see 4 scrolling at the bottom. I just want to make sure I answer the right one.
Well, number one is, what's the importance of family values?
I think family values just help you start your life off grounded in something. I think the world has a lot to offer, a lot of it not good. And when I think of having to be on my own at 20 years old, the family values that my mom instilled in me, my family instilled in me, they really helped me. I won't name them all, similar to what Chuck said. And I think, the most important thing was my mom was like, you got to go out there and do something. You got to go out there and do something with our opportunity. My mom grew up in Jim Crow South. Life was hard for her. And so she had moved to Boston and never went back to the South. Didn't care, didn't want to, didn't look back, stayed in Boston for the rest of her life. But she brought those Southern values with her.
Yeah.
And so, and when I think about all the things that she instilled in me, I mean, back then I thought she was just a raging bitch. But today I'm like, whoa, this woman right? This woman was the truth. Like she knew something about life, right?
Yeah.
Going back to Chuck's thing
She
about
lived.
like
She
grandma.
lived.
She lived. And
Yeah.
I hadn't lived yet.
Yeah.
So I wasn't as appreciative of what she was trying to instill. But on my darkest days, I wish I could like raise her back from transition and tell her, like, I get it now, Mom. Like, you're the smartest woman on earth. And so I'm grateful to move through the world with what she taught me, because the world is as cold, if not colder, than she tried to warn me when she was alive.
Deep. Beth, same question.
So I can honestly say that I thank God that my parents are old school. My parents are old. And the appointments of family values is that's the way, that's how you're representing your families and you're instilling what your family finds important, and it's instilling a moral compass. And so for number 2, do kids learn by what you do or what you say? Both. And even by what you don't do and you don't say. And these kids now, before as I do, now these kids will throw it back up in your face. I seen, someone I know got big mad because their own child, you need to stop doing this, and that. And they were like, that didn't stop you from having blah, 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 this, talk about baby daddies and all this other type of stuff. So now these kids are like, wait a second, how you going to tell me not to do something? But like, I learned it from watching you, you know?
Yeah. I can see that.
So now you kind of can't, you got to be the example you want your kids to see. If I say no, phone at the dinner table, that means I don't have my phone either at the dinner table either. We're both concentrate on each other. And do I think society is losing its values? I don't think society is losing its values. I think that.
Are you following the guidelines of the show? It's one. Everybody's going around answering each question.
That's what I'm doing. I'm reading the questions.
All of them at the same time.
That's what I'm supposed to do, right?
Yeah, but we're gonna go around. Juan did one, Chuck did one, Shantae did one. It's your turn.
I'm so sorry. Okay, let me zip it. Okay, right. Sorry.
Juan, I'm like, Juan, number 2, please.
Hold on, Mark. You didn't get a chance to answer number 1.
Oh wow, what's the importance of family values? I mean, it's huge, man. I've been giving y'all the answers. I got the answers like on the screen. I'll answer it later. You guys go. I got like solutions and all that stuff at the end. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You know how I do.
What was them? Number 2, I say for me personally is what I do, and I use my daughter as an example because she never see me drink. She's not interested in drinking. She never see me smoke. She's not interested in smoking. Her mother is an occasional drinker, but she follow more of my style. She got friends that drink and smoke. She never was tempted. So to me is what it's like the show me state, because I always tell her show me. So she says the same thing, show me.
True. Chuck?
My kids are a chip off the old block, man. Especially my youngest, man. I get road rage like there's no tomorrow, man. When I'm with my boys, I just hate stupid drivers, and the things that I say. I hear them saying it when they're frustrated too. Because I'm my thing is shut the hell up and drive, just move. I hear my youngest one say that all the time. I'm like, listen, man, you can't repeat everything Daddy says. When you get to my age and you get behind the wheel, you will understand. But until then, don't say that, because I don't want to hear the teachers calling me, telling me, he told some girl to shut up and just move out his damn way. Like, dude, don't do that. But I try my best to set a good example for my boys, even my nephews and nieces. So they're watching. If they're not saying anything. Yeah, they're watching. I mean,
we'll get you a counselor, Chuck.
How I can just go. Man, I just need non-driving folks off the road.
Shantae, the kid question.
I like to live off of the saying, I can show you better than I can tell you. I have found that the answer really is both. And then I'm going to add in a little extension. As your children get older, there are more influences out there that that they're looking at and are trying to decide if they want to emulate and be like. And so, I just do my best to be the example, and then also just try to have those conversations with them, because again, they're seeing things, especially this generation. They're just seeing so much more of their peers, who are highlighting certain things, and just trying to stay connected to them about what they're seeing, and do you want to try that, and what are you thinking about all of that? Because I have children in college, so once they go to college, it's on, right? And so depending on what you taught them and what they learned, that's what they use, and they're all going to make mistakes because we made them too. Let's not be adult hypocrites, right? But let's keep talking to our kids.
I was perfect.
Oh, here we go.
Who that? Big Chuck or Big Sexy?
Let's keep talking to our kids and making sure that we're keeping it real with them in a way that allows them to make sound decisions. I'm done.
No doubt.
Right, Beth, we're skipping you on number 2 because you answered already. Big Sexy. Let's go to number 3. You want to read it, or you want to? Number 3, do you think society is losing its values?
I say yes and no, depending on what part of the state you live in. Down south, they still have strong family values, because when I visited and I got to know people down there, that's still real strong down there. Up here up north, I don't feel there's really no strong family values, because just watching today's generation and the way they're behaving, tells you a lot how some of these younger generation is being raised at home.
True. Chuck?
Nah.
Just no.
Because I got family north, south, and west, man, and the stuff that I see my cousins and post and their kids post, I'm just like, damn, man. If I said that or did that, I'll be crying, because mom and dad, or even grandmoms, would have told my behind up. It's society. It's basically what they see and hear, man. They're glorifying gangster, being a thug and all this other stuff. Probably couldn't beat themselves out of a wet paper bag. They don't know how to use them. They don't know how to use these. First thing they want to go to get a weapon. So no. Society is effing these kids up. No. I'm saying society's effing these kids up. That was my last part.
Okay, I was like, you'd be like, okay.
I gotta take a breath, man. I gotta take a breath, man. Sometimes, winded. Good.
I think values are changing, just like A1 Boston put in the chat. I just think what we value is changing, and it's up to us to try to hold on to the values that are meaningful to us and give them to our kids. Quickly, one of the things our kids always complain about is how they're unicorns. They're like, why do we have to eat together at the dining room table? None of our friends do that. And, why do we have to do this? And why do we have to do that? My thing is, this is what my mom instilled in me. This is what I'm going to instill in you. When you have your children, my hope is that you'll continue that work. And so society as a whole, if you ask me, has always been jacked up. Let's not just get into the history of how our country was created. That's society. But even in the midst of that historical conundrum, we still had values and we still had things that we stood for in the midst of adversity. And I would just like to invite us to remember that and try to continue that work, regardless of the craziness in social media and the news.
Jeff, you're back. Your mic's back on. Remember, you're gonna go back. You're gonna answer the question.
So what I'm doing, number 3.
Number 3, yes.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Do you think society is losing its values? Yes. And you can answer number 4.
I don't think
right?
society. Nah, I won't do number 4. Okay, I'm gonna wait. So I don't think I don't think per se society is losing its values. I would also say we're not sticking to, and what values are we talking about? Do we value racism? Do we value sexism? Do we value equality? Do we value equity? You know, back then you could support a household on one income. Now, how many families can support a household on one income? How many parents are working 2 and 3 jobs? And so I think we need to focus politically on getting family leave and raising the minimum wage so our parents don't have to work 2 and 3 jobs to survive. And then because we value our families and spending time with our kids and just influencing everything. So I think if things weren't so tough financially out here, we would be able to nurture our kids more and things of that nature. And sometimes even the grandparents got to still work, you know? Yeah. And so I remember, you know, my grandmother worked, but just like my grandmother, when my mom was getting her second graduate degree and having that village, my aunt's babysitting me, and I luckily was still able to have that village with my daughter. But I also see some people, one of my girlfriends doesn't have access to a village like that. You know, her mom passed, you know, some family want to act stink because they're angry with you. And it's just unfortunate. And we don't have that village. And I think we really need, our country needs to be like other industrialized nations and have that support system or have daycare open so that you can work until 5, pick your child up by 6, have, you know, dinner. And I think that's when you'll see the families getting tighter knit, because I don't want my kid running the street. I'd rather them be in an after school program with someone that has some sense and is going to look out for our young people. And I think that's what we're losing, and that's what we need to get back to. And our government needs to be more responsible in making that happen. Instead of giving these corporations billion-dollar tax breaks in a military-industrial complex, we need to focus on Build Back Better, because that will build our families back up again. And that's how I feel.
Loving it. Juan, fourth question. What values did your parents pass on to you?
Unfortunately, none.
Is that it? That's the answer?
I mean, I'm being honest. I'm one of those individuals that unfortunately, unfortunately, my mother had me when she was a teenager. So
I can bring you some more examples. I can give examples again: kindness, self-compassion, integrity, responsibility.
None of that came from. None of that came
from flexibility. I can name some more if you want.
None of that came from my family. Unfortunately, it actually came from me ripping and running the streets, and from my friends. To be honest, you know, that my family is your typical story. One of those crazy, you know, father had more kids and, you know, all types of other nonsense that I won't get into here. But unfortunately, I'm also grateful, because from them not teaching me nothing, show me what I did not want my child to go through, and what to learn and what not to learn.
Okay, Chuck, your parents.
Integrity, man. Be true to your word. Take that initiative. My pops, God rest his soul, he got up every morning 3:30, 4 o'clock, and was out the door quarter past 5, and didn't see him until 6:30, 7 o'clock. Mom Dukes, where she did the 3 to 11 as a nurse. She always made sure it was a hot meal on the stove. You know, well, she always cooked before she left for work and whatnot. Or she had me and my sister and myself do it. My mother worked up until her 69th birthday, man, and you know she's retired, and you know, but I mean it's the fact that she didn't like sitting at home. She didn't like sitting at home. She just always wanted to do something. So that's why I get up, I get up every morning to go to work. Sometimes I don't want to get up, but I have a family to take care of. So, I just get up, go to work till I find something better. And I try to instill that with my boys.
Shantae?
Don't want to push no religious beliefs on no one, but my mother did teach me about the importance of believing in God, talking to him, and trusting him. She pushed education on me because there was a point in her life where she literally had to stop getting an education because, again, Jim Crow South. And that was really difficult for her, but she pushed education on me. And the third thing I would say is good food. A lot can happen over a delicious meal. And my mom cooked almost every day. My family would joke that I cook 8 days a week, right? We just got into fast food recently. Food is the thing that I feel like brings people together. It brought my family together through difficult times. And I'm not trying to make it seem like it was perfect. I'm just saying, like, sometimes my mom's food made everybody shut up, even if just for a little bit to eat. And she was the type of person that would cook like army pots of food. And so we would always ask, like, well, dang, who's coming? But she cooked in case somebody was coming. And so I recently had to like downsize with 2 kids in college, like, who the hell are you cooking for? And, you forget. But food is that thing that brings people together. So I would say God, education, or maybe I would say spiritual life, because my mom didn't go to church, but she definitely knew that the Lord had been with her all her life. Education and good food, just to name the first 3. I mean, all the other stuff that you listed at the bottom, integrity and stuff, was important. But I would say those are the 3 things that I know I live today. And those are the things that if you ask my kids and I wasn't around, those would be the things that I know they would say about me. And I got those from my mom.
Love it. Beth, number 4.
Okay.
You got the question, Runner?
What value did I learn? I would say I learned from my dad to be a hard worker. But something my grandmother used to tell me, my Layla, rest in paradise to her, we were really close, was when you step out that door, you represent me, you represent your family, you represent your ethnicity, you represent your people. And people are going to judge you and me just by the way you act. She said, I'm not saying it's fair, but especially when, I was like, oh, I'm one of the few people that live in this predominantly white neighborhood or go to this predominantly white school. And so people are going to judge us by how they see me act and what they see me do. And I said those same things to my daughter as she got older. And that's what stuck with me all my life and still sticks with me to this day. Hard work, and you have to work twice as hard to get half as far. So those are the things I run with that my grandmother instilled in me while she was alive.
Juan, got a couple more questions, Juan. Number 5, what traditional values are not important or not necessary now?
Ooh, I'm not too sure.
Pastor Chuck. Yep.
Man, I can't answer that question, man. I mean, all family values is important, man. Period. Because, like they said, you represent. Your kids are representing you and your people. So, I think I can't say that none's not important or unnecessary.
True. Anybody else?
I'll go quick and say, I'll go really nitty gritty. Our family just got rid of the Christmas tree, and we have really started to uplift Kwanzaa and celebrate Kwanzaa. And it was a real loss for me because my mom and I would do the Christmas tree every year. We listen to music. We had this thing. And last year was the first year we didn't do a Christmas tree, but it's in an effort to undo a lot of paganistic traditions that we have adopted from our oppressor, right? And so in an effort to really embrace what it means to be Black and proud, we've shifted from the traditional commercialized Christmas to Kwanzaa.
Beth?
I would have to say I'm kind of in the same boat with you. I've gotten more into Kwanzaa, but I do like the winter solstice, though. I love it. And now we don't really do Christmas anymore. I would say the only thing I could say, instead of thinking what I changed in my family, even though sometimes I don't agree with it, because traditional West Indian, West African, Cape Verdean family, Latinx, it's just like, I don't think patriarchy needs to dominate. I think partnerships need to dominate, where y'all, if you're stronger in this and he's or she is stronger than that, you know, let's complement each other and feed off each other's strengths. I'm not into like one person like trying to dominate, you know, the other. I'm not trying to emasculate a man or nothing like that, but I feel as if, you know, instead of one person ruling over the other. That's the only thing I could say that's changed with me, that I taught my daughter.
I like it. Juan, what role models gave you values? Any role models? I mean, you did kind of say your parents weren't those role models. Who were the role models for you?
My uncle, rest in peace. He was with my aunt since middle school, up to like 2-3 years ago till he passed away.
Okay.
He raised his kids, his brother's kid, who's God knows where he's at. That's another story for another day. Yeah. Some of the guys I grew up with, because they became fathers before I did, so I got to watch from what, you know, what they was going through. So sort of much like prep me what's to come in a way, and what values they want to instill in their children.
Chuck, role models?
Mom and dad, teachers, my boys, man. Like, just to piggyback off what Red just said, my boys were fathers before I became a father, and I watched how, you know, they went about, you know, with their kids, girlfriends, wives, baby's mama, whatever they want to call them now. And I didn't want that upon myself. I'm serious. I didn't want that upon myself. I mean, I seen how
you did get married
one day, old boy, you know, he's up here, and then a couple of days later, you know, he's at his lowest point and he's down, and I'm just like, damn, what the hell's going on? So I just looked at how, you know, y'all guys raised, you know, did y'all kids, and other people's parents and stuff. Red, his father used to come around with the car and everything, and, you know, always talk to him about cars and whatnot. And, you know, I just looked at that, and I'm just like, damn, you know, that's the type of father I want to be. I want to be a role model to my children. You know, well, I only want my child. I wanted one kid, you know, ended up with 2, but, you know, that's a blessing. But I'm serious. I just wanted one. I just wanted one. Oh my God. Hey man, hey, I just wanted one, man. But I'm blessed to have two boys.
Oh man.
No, but I'm serious, man. I'm not trying to be funny and nothing, but, you know, it's just you know, my circle, the people that was around me. That's what motivates me. Those were my role models, man.
Shantae.
I would say up until adulthood, I had a lot of role models that taught me what not to do. And I was very blessed over the course of my emerging adulthood to just have a bunch of different friends, you know, spiritual mothers, you know, folks in the church, folks in the community. I feel like I still have role models. Currently mentoring right now with a principal in Boston that I really adore and appreciate her allowing me to be a disciple at her school. So I think role model, I think we'll have a role model at some point in our lives for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
I put mine in the chat. I was just like, Mel King, my dad, my Uncle Danny, my grandmother, my auntie, Titi Melissa, Tio Herbie, Aunt Betty, Uncle Dave, Uncle Tim with his crazy self, crazy Coach Cooper and Coach Haji, Coach Height, my tennis coaches, Chuck Turner, may he rest in peace, my godparents, Diane Wilkerson, Auntie Makia, and so many, many more. I had a lot of positive Black role models in my life that I'm so grateful for. I really did.
Nice. That's lovely, man. You know, Juan.
Yeah, Mel King was the man.
So Juan, any values that you share with your circle, and it doesn't have to be your family with you or your family. So like your circle could be your family and us. So any values that you share with your circle?
I couldn't even tell you. That's something that you have to ask them because I couldn't tell you. You know what I mean? To be honest.
Okay. Chuck?
What the red man said.
What the red man said.
What do y'all think of me? What do y'all think of me, man?
Right now, live, you want us?
No, hey, man. I mean, it's like this, man. It's like this, man. I try to carry myself as a presentable person and whatnot. Hey, I just try to be 100. Sometimes I'm not, but that's that's just me when I get into one of my little moods and whatever, go into my show. But I try to be truthful and honest to everybody that I run across, man, friends or not.
Okay. Shantae?
I think I kind of already answered this earlier. God, education, food, delicious food.
Sure you did.
I mean, there's a lot more other things, but for the sake of time, those are the things I think I'm known for.
Okay. And if you guys do need to get off, I know it's supposed to be an hour show. If you do need to go off, just bow off politely. If you do, just let me know so you can promote, and say something positive and get out of here. Beth, want to answer number 7?
What I could say, what I value most is integrity. Once I feel someone's lied to me and that trust is broken, I'll be cool with you, but that person, you're not my rock, you're not my ace. So that's basically it.
I have to agree with you on that one, man. I haven't answered any question, but I agree with you on that one. How would you like, Juan, how would you like to be remembered? This will be the last question.
Oh, that's simple. I would like to remember that I wasn't perfect, but I did the best that I could with what I had.
Great answer. Chuck?
That was a funny motherfucker, yo.
We know that. My God.
Nah, y'all that I was always willing to help. If you ever had a need or anything like that, if you called upon me, I'll try my best to help you out as best as I could.
Okay. Shantae?
One of the things that I hold near and dear to my heart is I work really hard to be a woman of my word, for better or for worse. And some days that doesn't work out in my best interest, but it also helps me to not commit to things that I ain't got no business committing to. But my kids will definitely tell you, Mama's a woman of her word. And that's how I want to be remembered, because I think it covers a lot of other things.
That makes sense. Beth?
I want to be remembered, honestly, what I'm working on and what I'm building. I want to be remembered by how many people I was able to help and how many people's lives I was able to transform. That's what really matters to me. And then my immortality is through my daughter, because that's my DNA right there. So, I'll live through her and just how many people I was able to help in my lifetime. That's how I like to see things.
That's what's up. Reason I, this is reason I didn't answer a lot of these questions, because every week I'm answering these questions, and on this show, we wanted Chuck, and if you guys watch the show, you know what type of man I am. I love honesty. I'm kind of like going with Beth. If someone like lies to me and I find out you're lying to me, that's huge, man. Integrity is huge for me, and honesty is huge. But I did want to throw these off, but building a firm foundation. It's broken into like 4 things. Physical fitness, educating and nutritional exercise, hygiene, and rest. Number 2, spiritual empowerment. Break free from the negative thought patterns and habits. Number 3, mental awareness, mental alertness. Improving mental state that enhances participants' outlook on life. Someone's background is a little loud. Not sure whose background. Anybody? Okay. And then number 4, which is one of my favorites, because I'm all about this is what the podcast is about: financial stability, support standard of living that will encourage self-sufficiency. Anybody got any last words on those? I know it's you past the hour. If you got anybody got any last words on what I'm presenting here?
What I could say is, for those people that didn't grow up like Big Sexy with the best family values or the best role models, I would say this: you can decide to break those generational curses. You can decide to do better. You can start your own family traditions and your own family values that you want to pass down, and get therapy, especially if you came from a really dysfunctional and toxic family. You ain't got to tell nobody. You know, you can do it on your phone. You can now do therapy on your phone. You don't even have to leave the house. It has worked miracles in my life and has allowed me to break some generational curses in my own family. Okay, so
I've done therapy. Is people scared of therapy here? I thought black people got over that. It's not just old white women.
I did that therapy myself.
Okay, I've done therapy.
See Big Sexy going like this.
Well, that's just his opinion. Would you ever do therapy, Juan? Just to,
No, I wouldn't do therapy.
Why? You don't think you need it?
Why?
I'm at a certain point in my life where it's like, I'm good. You know?
What do you mean by that?
I think everything that I've been through, it's made me the person I am today, and I'm grateful for it. So.
Okay.
Plus, if I feel a little anger, I just go grab my friend the dent puller and go steal Beth's car and take it for a joyride and put it back.
Y'all know when it goes red, man, it's not the end of the show, man. I'm gonna let our guests go first. Shantae, thank you again for coming on the show. We really appreciate all your feedback, all your information, all your knowledge. This is the time in the show we promote. If you got anything to promote. If not, you just say something positive and you bow out gracefully. And you're always welcome. You're part of the family now. Your husband's part of the family. You're part of the family. Your son, your daughter, everybody. Stop playing. You already know that.
Thank you for having me. I just wanted to agree with Beth. It doesn't matter how you started or where you started. What matters is where you end and how you end. And so you are in charge of that. And so remember that, and let's just keep striving to be our best selves. Good night.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hi, Shantae. Beth.
So I put it in the YouTube chat. Please go to our my nonprofit organization site.
Send it.
HTTPS.
Send it.
No, I did. I put it in there. It's in there on YouTube.
Oh, you put it on YouTube? Okay, because I was like, I couldn't.
Yep. So it is. And please go to our page. Please sign up as a supporter. We're fighting for rideshare drivers' rights. Sign a petition to let your legislators know you want basic protections and rights for rideshare drivers to help against Prop 22 like clone coming to Massachusetts. And just to support, we do have some perks if you are a member, even a supporter member of our organization. And I just appreciate all the support, all of the love that we've been getting so far. www.bidg.org is the webpage. And, I always like to say thanks in advance for all y'all support. So
all day, Beth. We love you, Beth. It's an hour show. That's why I be cutting y'all off sometime. It's not personal. It's not personal at all. Lord have mercy, y'all. But thank you, Beth, again for coming. You're expert of everything. Your Beth, that name really fits you well. Beth of all trades. We welcome your knowledge and your insight. always to the show, man. I'm speaking for myself. I love you as a person, man, and let's keep building. Beth. Hi, Beth.
It's great to see y'all, Big Sexy, Big Chuck, Marquis, using your government name.
Yeah,
I see.
But it's important. It's an important topic. I try to use it.
Okay.
So you put the stuff in a private. Did you put something in the? Oh, you put it in the private chat. The thing. The
No, she put it on the YouTube.
On the website.
Private chat.
Okay, you just.
I put it on YouTube and the private chat.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right, because I can't share it on the private chat. I don't think I could.
Okay.
I tried. Because it's private. It's supposed to be for me.
I'm in a great mood anyways. I just exercised. I had a great time. I'm on cloud 9. Oh my goodness.
She must have got some. Let me stop.
Every day should be like the day I had today. Oh my gosh.
That's what's up, man.
Mm-hmm.
You made movies like that. Groundhog Day. The days with your face. Bye, Beth. Love you. Fix your transformer computer next time. Sound like a transformer robot. What's up, guys? What's going on? It's us three again. How was the show? What do you guys think?
I think it went well. I'm grateful for the two wonderful ladies that joined us. Didn't realize how fast the time went.
Good show.
No, it did go by fast. That's why I was trying to keep it to an hour. I was trying to keep the structure. I don't mind going over. I can go 2-3 hours. You know that. If that's the case, if we plan that, we can do that next time. But I don't know if you got something going, they got something going. I want to keep it to an hour and not disrespect people's time. You know what I'm saying? Time's important.
It's time for us to kick it out of here then.
Yep. All right, y'all. Any positive words? Anything to promote?
Yeah, don't eat too much turkey for those who celebrate Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not. It's family gathering for me, man. I don't say Thanksgiving. Tell you the truth, man.
That's what's up, Chuck.
It's gonna be an intimate family thing again this year. I invited my mom's over. She said she's gonna go to my brother's house, so she doesn't want to come this far out. So
gotta go to her, Chuck. Bring her a plate, Chuck.
No, that's always. We always, that's always, bring her 2 plates at least. So, I know she's gonna eat one and she's gonna have one for later. I know my mom do. So, plus she has a pie. She makes a pie for each of the kids anyway. So, I gotta, swing over there and get it, and bring her a little gift.
I enjoyed the topic. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed our guests. I enjoyed, just the back and forth banter and stuff like that. This is what it's all about. This is family values here. Just us three here, or just inviting more people in our circle and learning from them and them learning from us, and back and forth with mutual respect. You know what I'm saying? I respect everybody else on this panel. They want to be on this show. If they weren't, and there's people that were on this show before that's never going to be on this show again. Hopefully they're watching the show and they know it. You know what I'm saying? But it's all that's what I'm talking about family values. Y'all my family. Y'all my family, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know where Chuck is dying.
He knows what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna say the person's name.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm just thinking people, in general, man.
Yeah, that bring down.
Just thinking in general, how we talk, how we communicate with each other and whatnot. I don't know who it is, but I might have an idea, but just the message alone, I mean, I can dig it.
Chuck,
only thing I can say is go out there, live every day to its fullest, and if you want to cuss somebody out, cuss them out before it's like my pops would say, cuss them out before
Chuck, you trying to close your eyes. Good family values here, Hey,
that was my pop. That was my pops. That's how my pops was, And no, don't be afraid to say what you got to say. What's on your mind?
Say it. Say what's on your mind.
Just say it. Don't wait, or don't say, oh, I'm gonna do it later. No, just speak your mind.
True.
Take that initiative, and I don't have anything to promote right now. I'm sorry.
That's all right, though. We promote enough. You know what I'm saying? We know your wife has a line, and they can. I'll put it in the description, and they can get it from there. Don't worry about it. All right, guys, man. We out of here, man.
All right.
Like I said, it was a great show, man. It was episode what? 56?
56.
56.
We getting up there. We get close to 60, man. I'm proud of us, man. We're doing a great job, and let's keep it going, man.
See everybody in 2 weeks. Let's let them know in 2 weeks.
I know 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, we got next week's all, baby. That's why we did that other show, girl. So, all right, guys, man. Peace out, man. One love, man.
One love, man.
Beantown. Let's go.